Hello and welcome again to another VisionAid presentation. Today we're looking at transportable technology. So we've got some transportable magnification and some audio readers here. So we're going to go through them as usual one by one. Right, so first we're going to have a look at the Helix HD, all folded up there. Really quick and easy to set up. Simply lift, rotate the head round and you're good to go. On the back it's got a HDMI connection, so that can be used on a computer screen or a large television. Then to control the Helix, we've got a Bluetooth controller, so it's completely wireless, links to the Helix, and it's got nice simple controls. If you do want the advanced controls, they're hidden under this simplifier. So if you want to keep it simple, you just use these two controls. And if you want the more advanced ones, simply lift that off and away you go. Right, so now we've got the Helix connected up to a screen. I've got my magazine underneath here, so you can see that magnified onto the screen there. The controller, if I rotate the bottom control clockwise, that'll increase the magnification, nice and simple. Anti-clockwise will decrease the magnification, and depending on what screen size you use with the Helix, determines the magnification range. But you can get anywhere from 2.8 up to 150 times. It's also got an overview mode, so if I click and hold the button down, it'll zoom out and show me exactly where I was looking on the page. So I can then relocate the page and let go, and then it would re-magnify it up into the area that I was viewing. The colours of the Helix, the ones that you see on the screen, are determined by the top control. So I'm looking at a document with black print on white background, the magazine, but I'm reversing it on the screen to white on black to give me a higher contrast and less glare. But that can be any two colours of my choice just by simply rotating the control. So there I've got black and yellow, green on black, lots of different choices. But then if I wanted to look at a picture in full colour, I simply tap the control, just click it. Let me just bring this picture into view, there we go. And like I say, if you did want the advanced controls, I can just lift that off. You can change all the settings with the Helix on here. You can also bring on extra functionality like horizontal lines on the screen. I've also got, using the same control, vertical lines if I'm working with figures. I can also use horizontal blinds, so if I rotate it anti-clockwise, it opens them out or brings them in. So you can limit what you can see, and as I'm reading, I can pull the information along as I go. If I click again, I can have vertical blinds. This is an unusual one that you won't see on any other magnifier. This gives me lots and lots of horizontal lines. If I use something like this blank piece of paper, I can write a nice square letter. If I'm writing a birthday card, I can put these lines on and set the height of the lines to suit the style of my writing, and then write between the lines, and there are no lines then made on the document. Another one you won't see on any other device is the signature box, which is unique to the Helix. So if I'm signing in a form, I can put this around the area that needs signing and then just sign under the Helix in the box. Right, so that's the Helix HD. Switch it off and it's just as easy to pack away. So if you need to put it away in the drawer or anything, the control panel magnetizes underneath, drops it down like this, and that's it, nice and simple. So this is the fantastic new Cloverbook, and it comes in 3 models, which we'll go through. It's also provided in a nice padded case here with a handle and a shoulder strap and a little pouch to put things in. Okay, so the first thing to note about Cloverbook, it's got a removable, removable and replaceable battery. The battery lasts about 5 hours on this machine, and you can also have a separate charger and battery as well, so you can get up to 10 hours away from a socket. Nice and quick and easy to set up. It's got a handle here to carry the Cloverbook without the case, and it's just a simpler case of lift it up and pull the screen out. Right, so the Cloverbook's got a nice large 12.5 inch screen, and it's also a matte finish screen, so it's less susceptible to reflections. So we'll power the Cloverbook up. It's got a really quick boot up time, and it's got the best image quality in this sector. So out of all the transportables that we do, this is the best image quality for a live image, because it uses a 4K 60 frames per second camera, so it's much quicker and smoother than any of the other ones. The controls are nice and tactile on the front edge, and the first model that you can buy is called the Cloverbook Lite. So that's this for people that want to buy this unit just as a nice portable magnifier. It's a bit more like a more advanced desktop unit, but in a more compact format. So I can read with it, I can write underneath, and do practical things underneath. On this one, it always stays the same. So whatever angle I have the screen at, the Cloverbook will auto correct, so it's a nice square image. To control the Cloverbook, it's clockwise to increase magnification, anti-clockwise to decrease magnification. If you actually click the button, it'll give me an overview and shows me where I was looking, so then I can relocate and then click again and it will instantly zoom back in. To control the colours, it's this button here. I rotate it. It's nice because it's got nice tactile buttons on, so I can get all different background and foreground colours. So even though I'm looking at black print on a white background, I'm inverting it on the screen to make it clearer for me. And then if I press the centre of the button, it takes it straight to full colour, so then I can look at any colour, natural colours that appear on the page, like photographs or anything. It's also got this large centre control here, which is what's called a joystick, so I can actually pan around and move around that information just by pushing left and right on the joystick, or pulling down or going up, without having to actually move the document. So that can be quite useful, just to have a quick look around something. Also, another nice thing on all the Cloverbooks is you can also have a line on the screen for a guide, which you can then use as a guide for reading and for writing, which you can adjust the thickness of the line and also the position on the screen. You can also have a vertical line if you're using it for columns, and again you adjust the position or the thickness. Line markers or blinds, so I can adjust the width of those and the position on the screen, and also vertical ones. So that's the Cloverbook Lite. The next model up is the Cloverbook Plus. The Cloverbook Plus has a touch screen as well as the controls here, so we can then pinch and zoom. And I can also then pan around with my finger, which is really nice. And you can still use the joystick if you prefer, and the tactile controls if you prefer. It's nice because you've got a combination of the two. If I wanted to read a column in here, I can be scrolling along like this, get to the end, double tap it here at the end, takes me straight back to the beginning of the column. I can go double tap at the top, straight to the top, bottom. So it's nice and easy and quick to navigate using my fingers and gestures rather than using the joystick, but you can still use both if you prefer. So another really good feature on the Plus, as well as the touchscreen, is the fact that you get this separate camera that's built onto the side of the unit. It's fully integrated into the stand, so there are no messy wires, no setup with it, and you don't have to charge the camera separately from the unit. It's powered from the main unit, and it's simply just a case of pulling it around like this, lifting it up, and it's set up. It actually looks like an aerial, but it's got a nice small integrated camera and this small collar around here. And what that allows you to do is, if you're in a meeting, you might want to look at presentation, or if you're using it in a school or in a college or university, you might be watching again a presentation or anything on a whiteboard, information on a whiteboard. If you're using it for home, you might be looking out into the garden, looking at your bird table or flowers. You can also rotate the camera around and point it at your face as well. So then you can use the Cloverbook as a magnifier for your face. So you can then use it as a mirror, and you can maybe apply makeup or have a shave just for personal grooming. So it's quite useful for that too. With the differences, you can also zoom in and out and change the magnification depending on what you're doing. So it's beautifully simple to use that. And then on the Cloverbook Plus, you can then switch quickly between the two cameras. So you can switch to the internal camera, then switch to the distance camera and have the full screen showing what the distance camera is looking at. And finally, we have the Cloverbook Pro. So that is the next step up, and it's the final version, which is exactly what all the things that we've just looked at, but it also adds text to speech. And it does a full A4 page, so you can put a document under here, and the Cloverbook will also read the document out loud with either a male or female voice. You can change the speed of the voice as well. So if your eyes get tired easily and you need to be able to read documents back, it can be useful for that. But that's called the Cloverbook Pro. And that gets the distance camera, close-up camera, touchscreen and everything. It's the complete unit with everything on it. And when you finish with the camera itself, you can just simply fold it down back against the unit, and it's nice and simple. Another really useful option for the Cloverbook, if you need it, is a separate screen. It's a really thin profile screen, narrow screen, It's got a stand at the back of it, so you can have it sat next to the Cloverbook, prefer either to the left or the right, or it does actually mount in straight directly into the Cloverbook, like this. So then you can adjust the angle of it independently. So where the second screen is particularly useful is if you're using it with a distance camera. I've got the information on the top screen is the information from the distance camera, and I've got something set up on the wall over there. And then I've got also the information from the magazine underneath here, below. So I don't have to share this screen. So now because the top one's not a touch screen, I can control the top screen just by using gestures on the bottom screen because of the red box around here. So I can change the magnification, I can pan around the top screen, which is really nice. And then if I want to control the bottom screen, I double tap here. And now any controls that I use will control the bottom screen. Right, for those who prefer more traditional style transportable magnifier where the inline viewing is possible and where the screen's up at a more comfortable viewing height, we're now going to look at the i-loview range. So they both come in padded bags, so we've got a nice padded bag here from Chris Park, there is the manufacturer. Nice and quick and easy setup. There are two models. This one is the 16-inch model with a 16-inch screen. It's also available as a slightly smaller 13-inch. Like I say, the battery comes with the unit. You don't have to buy the battery separately. One of them, the 13 inch is 4 kilograms, 8.8 pounds, and this larger screen is 4.7 kilograms, just slightly heavier, and 10.4 pounds. Switch it on, nice quick boot up time, get the information under, lovely clear image, nice simple controls. It remembers what last setting it was on. And I can zoom in, zoom out, change my reading colours. I've also got the options of lines and blinds, the same as on most other units, but it's a beautifully crisp and clear picture. It can be used, the screen can be used lower, and then there's a rotational control here, so I can flip the camera up and use it for distance use. I can also bring it close up to look at, you'll actually see the camera being filmed in there. You can use it as a mirror as well. So the screen, you can put any comfortable position for the screen. So even if you're actually using it while you're standing up, you might be using it in the kitchen and you're doing a recipe with it, you can tilt the screen back and look down onto the screen whilst you're standing, or sit comfortably in front of it and have it set a more comfortable position there. A beautiful, simple, really high quality magnifier in a nice portable package. Another nice thing about the i-loview range is if you're thinking about having a unit on a trolley and you were going to look at maybe a desktop unit, tend to be a lot heavier, then this is a nice option to have on a trolley because it's easy to move it around even on a trolley. And then we can put full natural colours, so if you're doing craft work, you can work under here. It's full autofocus, I can write under it. So just a really nice all-round magnifier that's just a miniature, almost a miniature version of the larger desktop unit, but it's also battery operated as well, so you can take it literally anywhere. And there we go. Thanks for joining us on that little journey through just a small selection of what VisionAid have to offer. And if you need any further information, then please do get in touch. But thanks again for joining us. Bye.